Hello there and welcome to World of Tanks with Gaiety Titan. Well, I've acquired the Boilermaker with a little help from my friend here, the FE215B183, the Death Star. I didn't do anything particularly special to help me get the Boilermaker because, to be honest with you, I wasn't terribly worried one way or the other whether I got it or not. It's while the Firefly is a particularly fun tank, I've more or less completed the British Tech 3, and once I have completed the second line of tank destroyers and the artillery, I probably will give the British Tech 3 a rest for a while. So tanks that I acquire, premium tanks that I acquire in the British Tech 3 might not get that much play in the immediate future. However, I was grinding out the Charioteer for quite a while to get the Conway unlocked, and I have found the Charioteer to be a sometimes frustrating tank, and for a bit of relief I actually would go over to the Death Star because, as you can see, the Death Star is pretty much always fun. I've actually reckon I'm competent enough now in the Death Star to actually start using some regular armor-piercing rounds. I have kind of figured out a playstyle that works for me with the Death Star, and which is basically to use it a bit like a KV-2 really, just a tier 10, and I have found that using the regular armor-piercing rounds actually works quite well, particularly against heavily armoured tanks, as long as you shoot at weak spots and areas that you think the gun will penetrate. Whereas shooting the high explosives, well, it works the same way against weak spots, but a lot of the time you get very low splash damage results. So I digress a little there, talking about the Death Star. However, I had some unexpected developments towards the end that I thought would prevent me from getting the Boilermaker, and it pretty much was the Death Star that allowed me to do it, since the requirements for winning the Boilermaker were basically to do a lot of damage, to be in the top 5 damage dealers. First battle I got with the Boilermaker was on Pacific Island, and I haven't played too many battles with the Boilermaker, so this is as formative an impression as I've got. It's pretty much a Firefly. I don't really see much in the line of a difference in play, in practice. It feels a little bit more sluggish than the Tech 3 Firefly, but that could be just me. Or it could even be my internet connection on a given day. I haven't played it enough to say that it's a definitive thing, or it's and I haven't really examined the stats to see if that's a definitive thing. However, it has all the Firefly characteristics. The gun handling is pretty decent. Depression is a bit of a weakness, but you know, you can get over that. Like, it's not so bad that it would become a major issue or a major pain, unlike, say, something like the Charioteer, which has practically no gun depression as far as I can see, or the Churchills, for instance, and it never really was a problem there, although I suppose gun depression really isn't a Churchill thing. Gun handling seems to be okay. It seems to be a bit underpowered, alright, but and the armour, well, it's going to be the Firefly. It's basically the M4 armour. There may be some mitigating effects from the extra tracks bolted onto it, but I haven't been in a position where I've noticed any particular difference. A couple of games where I've played have been either like this, where the armour hasn't been really challenged all that much, or there are games where I just ran into something where it wouldn't have mattered what breed of a Sherman I was driving. I would have probably have suffered the consequences and died anyway. So overall, it's a good solid tank. It's a good solid addition to the British Tech Tree. British Tech Tree probably needed a tank like the like the Boilermaker, a relatively low tier tank that would be, I'd say, would be decent earner silver. I haven't again played it enough to again form an impression on that side of the matter. But so far as I know, I haven't lost any silver on it, and I haven't really found the need to use much premium, which you wouldn't expect it with the 17-pounder gun. Again, I haven't played it to any great extent, so I can't make any further comments on it. It's fun, it's enjoyable, and I hope you enjoyed the experience. Like I said, I found it particularly painless to acquire the Boilermaker in comparison to the earlier iterations of this earn a premium tank operations that Wargaming had done. The Motherland and the CDC, for instance, were pretty much a chore in the final operation because the sheer amount of experience required and the amount of time that you had to actually gain that experience. The Hammer was frustrating as well, though more to do with the fact that the negative marking, sort of the negative points system that the Hammer had, while very rewarding for skilled players, would be very frustrating for the more average player. So yeah, overall I think it was a fun tank, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.